Hey everyone, this is Doug with the Grizzled Geek, and today I'm coming to you with another Star Wars video. I'm going to forego doing the alternate game on Sundays because of a lot of the significant things that are happening in Star Wars. I will get back to Sentinels of the Multiverse next Sunday when I'll take a look at the Extreme Prime Wardens team now that they've all been unlocked. But for now, we're going to stick with Star Wars for a bit, and I'm going to do another top 5 list. This one is going to be the top 5 enhancements I'd like to see them make to the Conquest system. Now, they did announce as part of the roadmap for 2017, a teaser for 2018 was that they were going to, in the early months of 2018, make some adjustments or make some improvements to the Conquest system. So I'm going to take a look at what I would like to see done with the system. The first thing I would like to see is more unique content for guilds. And I'm not going to be more specific with that than, say, for example, the Sith and Jedi Battle Masters. That you can fight with a guild group. You have to have a conquest, or not a conquest group, sorry, an operations size group to take on. They were a unique kind of flavor. They had the shield that you had to wait for, or be the people who had conquered the planet before, and then you could get the fighter flyby to bomb the shield off of the person. That was a cool idea. I don't think the rewards were commensurate with the amount of work that goes into getting your guild together to do an event like that. If you do that, it is significant to your guild in that if you have 12 people, 16 people, something like that, who are getting 2,000 points for the commander, and then another 1 to 3,000 points plus any bonuses to defeating the defenses around them, it gets a pretty decent amount of points for your guild. But the individual rewards were not that great. Often it was just a flagship plan with the chance that they would drop a flagship. Now the term is escaping me. What you get from turning in flagship plans. Sorry, I forget the term. Anyways, it doesn't matter. That was only a chance. So to go through to put all that together, the reward didn't always seem worth it. Most guilds do it anyways. It's just a quick run for a couple of hours or an hour or two. They'll jump around between planets and kill commanders and stuff like that. You can only get the points once, so generally you do that. Maybe you shoot for a world boss if it's a planet that has a world boss. Maybe they've got a unique. In this case, Operation Tobor's Courtyard is a single boss. You always have operations as something you can do, but the idea of expanding on that, unique things your guild can do that they don't normally do, like operations. So maybe enhancing the commanders, maybe making a conquest-specific mini mission, kind of like a mini operation like the Golden Fury or the Eyeless for the Rat Ghoul. Might be something worth looking into and expanding. Do something like the Rat Ghoul and the Gree thing for every invasion. That would be something I'd be interested in seeing. And then up the rewards, make it worth the individual guild members going along, rather than just being for some plans or frameworks. That's what they're called. Some frameworks that your guild's going to use to build its ship. So that would be one suggestion. One thing I'd like to see is that those runs be a little more unique and be a little more rewarding for the individual guild member. Second thing I'd like to see is an update to the rewards, both the personal and guild-based rewards. I've not got a chance to do it. I am going to do a video about crafting, but essentially the superior resource matrices, I think, are essentially useless. You get a bunch of them. You rarely use them. They're just not. They're not worth it. This is not. The rewards have not kept pace with the conquest. I'd like to see those improved. You get a decent amount of conquest or command points, an okay amount of credits, not a great. They definitely need to keep the lockboxes, but get those up to speed to include the higher ranking gathering decorations, so that you can get those level 8, 9, and 10. They have some level 8s, but not a lot. So if you get the 8, 9s, and 10s, that would be great. Get those, be able to get those out of the gathering lockboxes. Maybe up the number of droid parts and scavenge scrap. Maybe get rid of the superior resource matrix and replace it with a grand chance cube, or who knows, something along those lines. Just give us a little more for the rewards, especially for the guild rewards. If your guild places in the top 10, essentially you're just getting this stuff again. The Jawa Drunk's pretty significant. The 10 Jawa Drunk, that's great. But then you get 1 encryption. Now, these are obviously a guild reward, not a player reward. So when you've got a guild that has 900 people, probably not scoring their points, but let's say 500 people get their points, you're going to get 500 encryptions, which is very useful for the guild, obviously. So that's cool, but they need to enhance what the individual player gets to make it worth them, because what you want here for the improvements you're making is you want to make this more interesting to the individual player. Plenty of guilds have bought into the conquest. They like the conquest, and some guilds, like Bloodbath and Beyond, for example, require at least the members of their main guild to get their points or be removed from the guild. I'm not sure about some of these other guilds that are on this top 10 list, but some guilds, it's such a big deal to them that it's a requirement. But for a lot where it's not, the players just don't see the value in going through and doing all the things required to get points. The rewards just aren't there for them. All right, the next one on my list is find some additional uses for the war supplies and the invasion forces. Currently, the only thing you can do with a war supply is combine one of each to craft an invasion force. The only thing you can do with an invasion force is to combine it with, I believe it's called, the dark. You use the exotic isotope stabilizers or the refined isotope stabilizers, as well as an invasion force, and you get a dark project. Dark projects can be turned in to get the ship encryptions, the flagship plans. So right now, that's the only thing those are good for. I'd like to see that list expanded, and maybe be able to turn these into other rewards. Maybe continue to have invasion forces be able to get war supplies be used to get invasion forces, but maybe you can also use them to get a temporary bump in something. Use them as a kind of enhancement to getting command points, or maybe to as a bonus to the points you earn during the event. Maybe you save that for the invasion forces. You turn in an invasion force, you get a 10% bonus on the points you earned or something. Just figure out something else to do with those, because otherwise there's not a lot There's not a lot of worth to them. You just end up sitting here collecting in war supplies until you can craft hundreds of invasion forces, or at least this is what has happened to me. I and Mike, the other, my co-host with the Grizzled Geek, have a vanity guild with some friends. There's just like 6 friends who have a grand total of about maybe 30 characters in this guild. But in a week when we've had time to prepare, in a week where there is infinite invasion force crafting, after a couple of times where you've got the infinite war supply crafting, I can by myself with 8 characters crafting invasion forces get on the top 10 list. I did that the last time we had infinite invasion force crafting. So that, as much as it was beneficial to me in these particular instances, I would have rather had something more interesting or cooler to do with those invasion forces than just, or with those war supplies and those invasion forces, than just sit on them. Currently, because of the way that works, I'm sitting on 5,500 invasion forces because there's really nothing else much to do with them. I could take these isotopes 8 to 1 and turn these into, I don't know, a few, maybe 20 dark projects, 30 dark projects, something like that, and I would still have over 5,500 invasion forces. So we need something else to do with those guys. It's just silly to be sitting on so many of those for no reason. All right. Number 2 thing I'd like to see improved with or enhanced in Conquest is that the single objectives be done by multiple characters. So for example, let's say defeat the Ulgo Siegebreaker. You can get 3,000 points for that. Currently, only one of my characters, regardless of what guild they're in, regardless of what faction they're on, anything, only one of my characters can get the points for that. That seems silly. Why not, if you want us to play multiple alts and to get full use of those, why not make it so all these, maybe you don't want me to be able to do go and beat the Ulgo Siegebreaker with this character every day. I understand that. Don't make it infinite for a single character. Make it so that each of my characters, maybe I have 5 characters in this guild. Those 5 characters should be able to go and earn those points for my guild and for their personal conquest total. Not have to strategically think, well, I'm at 200, I'm at 200 kills, or I'm at 225. Quick, got to switch characters because this guy doesn't need the points. This other guy does. It just seems silly that those wouldn't be something that you could do over and over again with multiple characters. So that's one thing I'd really like to see done. If not, if there's something that for some reason that they've not explained, that they don't want every single character to be able to do it, maybe at least opposite factions. One Imperial, one Republic character be able to do it. Something like that. All right. Lastly, number 1 thing I'd like to see enhancement I'd like to see for the Conquest is that all conquests should have a daily or heroic based way to earn points. For example, on the Balance of Power, you can do the heroic missions on Alderaan or the heroic missions on Makeb to get points. In the case of Alderaan, you can do that daily, the way that the Galactic Command works. So that's a way for people who maybe play at odd times when there's not a lot of guild members on. Like right now, I've got 8 guild members. Some of these may be doing some Battle of Rishi, for example. They're doing a flashpoint. Some others might be doing PvP. Maybe there's not enough people in my guild to do group content. Maybe I'm on at 12:18 a.m. What's the likelihood that I'm going to find a group to do a flashpoint with or an operation with? So this gives me a way to earn some points for my guild when other people aren't on, to fill time. Very often We'll see what happens with the server merge. Hopefully this will stop being so much of a problem. But often you can wait 20, 30, or more minutes for a flashpoint, or especially master mode, or a Galactic Starfighter or something like that to pop. So while you're waiting, you're able to go and do these daily reward things. That would get, especially currently, I believe, only Alderaan, Nar Shaddaa, and I think Balmorra are attached to, and then obviously things like McKeb, which aren't part of the Galactic Command shuffle, and Ilum, heroics on Ilum, which is only one per side. Currently, the only ones that have multiple are those Alderaan, Nar Shaddaa, and Balmorra, I believe. Belsavis might be on the list, but I'm not sure. But it is a minority of the individual things. You may have almost all the planets covered, but a minority of the actual invasions themselves have those daily things attached to them. So I'd like to see all of them have something daily-wise attached to it. So there you go, guys. Those are the 5 enhancements I'd like to see done to the Conquest system. How about you guys? What would you like to see improved? Do you agree with what the ideas I threw out? Would you change any of them? Please comment down below. Let me know. Please hit that like button. Subscribe. Share this with some friends. If you'd like to help the Grizzly Geek out to reach our 2,000 subscribers, we're at 1,000 and climbing steadily. Please do share that with your friends. We'll have a link to our Patreon site down below if you'd like to become a patron and support us that way. Otherwise, appreciate you guys being here. May the Force be with you, and you guys have fun playing Star Wars: The Old Republic.